What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just saw Batman Ninja. Batman Ninja is the brand new DC animated movie. It is a very interesting idea. It mixes Japanese culture with American culture, heroes we know, villains we've seen, and ideas and concepts that are so interesting. And I think this is only my second DC animated review on my channel. I hope to do more of these. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. Let's talk about the good. And I am so conflicted with this film. There are so many great elements and then elements that completely tear down what we saw prior, but I want to start out with the things that I liked, and the first thing is the premise. The concept and ideas here are very, very entertaining, but not just entertaining, they're so well thought out. I have never thought to put Batman in that kind of environment, but it worked out really well in terms of scale and scope. Absolutely 100%. My favorite part about this movie is the design of the characters and the way that this world looks. It looks so brilliant. There are different kinds of animation throughout. There is 2D, 3D, the way that they are shaped, the character composition, the looks, the costumes, the way that the Joker looks and the way that Batman looks is just so incredible. And the first time I saw it on the poster, I'm like, I have to see this film as soon as I possibly can. And I'm not working today, so I got to watch it. I'm not going to spoil anything major, but I'm going to give you guys some minor plot points. So along with Batman, and first off, the way that he gets here is so cool, interesting, and well thought out. There are villains in here that I just didn't know they were going to be in the movie. I'm not going to spoil who the main one is, but I thought that was cool. And then the way they play with the time travel elements, it's not just Batman, right? There's people on his side and there's people on the other side that came there as well. You have some characters that have started this dynasty, basically, and they're ruling certain parts of Japan. I think this is what, in the 1300s? It's like the ultimate video game, except of course you're watching this as a movie, and I love seeing Batman try to fight against all of these bosses in the boss battles. It didn't really turn out the way that I thought it would, but that idea and concept were so brilliant, and I can't wait to see something like this again, because you know DC is going to take this idea and they're just going to milk it. I also thought the merging of Eastern and Western cultures was very interesting, the way that they combine the two and the way that they interact towards the end. I mean, you've seen it in the trailers, you get Batman using a sword because he eventually accepts the fact that, hey, this is Batman Ninja, I'm Batman, and I'm going to be a ninja. We know he's done this before when he trained with Ra's al Ghul, but now we actually get to see him accept himself into this culture, and I love seeing that play out on screen. The action scenes in this movie are so well executed. You've got that cool factor of the 3D animation, but with the character design and the way that they go about these one-on-one battles, this is so interesting to me, and I loved seeing it. And then, I'm not going to spoil who it is, but there is a sword fight at the end between hero and villain, and my goodness, that was so beautiful. But my problem with this movie is there's so many great ideas and it's beautiful to look at, but you listen to the dialogue throughout the film and you see where the story goes in the third act, and other than the sword fight, the third act is such a mess for me. Now, I get it. If you're a fan of anime and how it escalates super quickly and it's so over the top, then I think you're going to love this, but the problem is you're mixing Batman with that, so you have to take the realism and the ideals of Batman and combine it with Japanese culture. But I don't think they did that. Batman is not Batman at times in this movie. And I'll say it, he just does things that are so stupid. It's like, why would you do that? You're Batman, you're smarter than that. And then the lines of dialogue, and once again, it's an anime-based movie, so you're gonna have that eccentric dialogue, but I think it was just way over the top for some of these characters. Some of the characters didn't even act like themselves. There's times when Joker just doesn't feel like the Joker. I also didn't really like the voice of the Joker in this movie. I thought that was a misfire for me. It just felt like he was trying to be a Mark Hamill ripoff, and I didn't like that. There is a point in the third act where you see all of these villains and their castles that they are in charge of transform into, guess what? You guessed it, robots. And you got this big Megazord battle, and with every Megazord, you have to have smaller robots combine into a bigger robot. And at that point, I'm like, all right, you're really taking me away from what was so good about this movie in the first two acts. But it wasn't only that. You also have a bunch of small animals coming together to make a giant animal, and then a bunch of small something else, I don't want to spoil what that is, coming together to literally make a robot-looking human. And it took me out of the movie so much, and everything they had built up prior to that, even with the lame dialogue, I got past it because I'm such a big anime fan, and I'm such a huge Batman fan. Seeing those two things combined was such genius for me, but when it went so far off the rails, it just took me out of the movie, and I couldn't get past those things. So here are my final thoughts about the film. I really liked about half of this movie, and then I really disliked another half of this movie. So the best thing for me to do, give it a 50%. But even the things that went so far off the rails to me were still entertaining, and my eyes were open wide the entire time, but it just did not work as a movie. So for that reason, I'm going to go on the edge of fresh for a DC animated movie. It's hard to compare this to actual theatrical releases, and give this film a 60%. And I'm giving it a 60% because I do think it is worth a watch, only if you guys want to see something that has never been done in the DC animated universe before, and something that I hope they take the concept of, they work on some better dialogue and better ways to go about these characters, and make a movie for adults, because I think at times this movie leaned too far in trying to impress the kids when I was into it at certain points. So what did you guys think of Batman Ninja? Is there another DC animated movie that is coming out in the near future that you guys want me to review? Let me know. I love Batman Under the Red Hood, The Dark Knight Returns, and Batman Mask of the Phantasm are some of my favorite comic book movies of all time, so I really hope to be able to get a shot at reviewing these more often. Later on today, I will be releasing my top 26 Marvel Cinematic Universe villains ranked from worst to best. I've already done my heroes, so go check that out. And then tomorrow, Avengers Infinity War. My review will be dropping around 11 p.m. Be on the lookout. You guys are the absolute best, and I'll catch you later.